Podcast. It is Connor versus Cobb, the podcast. I am Ryan Connor.
I'm Nick Cobb. We're against each other.
Right on
sometimes.
cue. How's it going, Nick?
I'm so glad to be back home, man. I took a week off, and there's like, you take a week off as a parent, and most of the time it's because your kids have a week off, and you just can't handle working while your kids are, just like just constantly asking
like you
for
you
shit.
physically can't even manage your time, right? Is that what you mean?
On top of that, it's just
not like you're
miserable.
jealous of them. Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. In fact, I feel so much better being back here and working than I did on our quote unquote vacation, which was just fucking miserable.
Can I just say how
it was
funny
so
it was?
Not fun. Like I was talking to Amy the other day, and when we were driving back in a storm, like, I don't think I laughed one time during vacation. I don't think I relaxed once. I don't think I had one good shit. It just wasn't good. And everybody there was acknowledging, like, yeah, this hadn't been the best visit for you guys. Like, everybody knew it. It just wasn't good.
Well, I was going to say it was really funny when we worked in an office, because most people on Mondays are like, oh man, we're back here again. And you were always like, oh man, we're back.
Yeah, we're back, baby.
Really appreciative that, you have relative calm.
Being around some like-minded adults, stepping out, constantly going out and like getting a cup of coffee like a mile walk away. It was awesome. What's the problem?
Well, that part is great. Yeah.
It's great. We go to a bar on Fridays what's the downside? Like, it was awesome. And now I got,
fair.
Working from home. Sometimes my kids are at home when I work, and it just sucks. There's no way to
drive
express
to work.
What's that?
You have to drive to work, the traffic, just the amount of time it takes to get there. And then, do we really need to be at our jobs for, 8, 9, 10 hours a day?
No.
Come on.
No, for sure. I mean, look, if you want to weigh the pros and cons, most people would say there are way more pros to working from home. I would say it's probably dead even, especially after a week of vacation at my parents' house. Which, look, man, my mom, just every story she tells about me is basically her saying, he used to be a little bitch. He used to be, everything he used to do was, he was just such a bitch. Everything she tells Amy is, he cried here, and this time he cried, and this time he cried twice. It was all these times that he cried. He was so embarrassed.
Is she making anything
crying.
Up? Is this real?
It's just not the same when she talks about my brother. Look, man, put it this way. First off, one thing, I don't know if this happens with your folks. Probably not. You have so many siblings, but everybody's always looping my parents into text messages that they don't need to be involved in. Like, when we first got down there, my brother and my sister-in-law had to put their dog down, and they were upset about it. Obviously. It was really upsetting. I've had to do it myself. I cried like a little baby. Just ask my mom. I was a little bitch about it. But the next day, we went to like the Arboretum, and my dad gets a text that my brother had decided he was going to stop off at a shelter, and he's going to foster a dog. It hadn't even been 24 hours. Now, I wouldn't do that, but I certainly know that some people would. They're like, I need to have a dog. I'm going to get a dog on my way home. I know that people would do that. So how we found out is that my sister-in-law texted not only my brother, but included my dad on a text being like, please talk to your son about how he is trying to adopt another dog, not 24 hours after we put Rufus down.
Yeah,
I just don't understand. And my dad's like, I don't want to be involved in this. This isn't like, my brother's 52 years old.
I mean, that really tells you he has not processed anything. He's just trying to plug a hole so he doesn't get sad, right?
Yeah, of course. But that
is he going to name the other dog Rufus? Make sure he looks exactly the same.
I think he took him back. But why are you including my dad on this?
Yeah.
Why is he at all? Like, I actually I'd like it if I would really like to include my dad on text with like, you are just random people in my life where there's no reason. It's just, he can be a fly on the wall. But when clearly it's a leverage move of like, I'm telling my dad what you're doing right now. I'm telling your dad what you're doing right now. You're a 52-year-old man and you can't go 2 days without adopting a dog.
It's almost like he wants someone to say, this is not a good idea. And he thinks his wife won't. Or yeah, I don't know. It also just reminds me of those arbitrary things that people get at every job where people, you'll get a message to everyone that says, just a heads up, no peeing in the kitchen trash can. We know who's doing it and you should stop doing it. It's like, send this to the person who's the problem. Why are you sending this to everyone? Yeah, why are you sending this to everyone?
It's weird when you're stuck, your video's stuck. Am I?
No, I'm still I'm moving around.
It looks like we're having a staring contest and your lids are like all the way down. Like a perfect staring contest move. By the way, my dad's 77 and dude did not know what a staring contest is. He'd never heard of it before.
So you I thought that, I didn't realize the staring contest actually came up with them. Okay.
I know, it was a fun coincidence. No, we were at dinner right after the dog was put down. We're all at dinner and like, we don't do phones with kids. We don't let them do that because we rarely go out to dinner. And so a lot of times we'll do a staring contest while we're waiting. And my dad is like, what are you guys doing? Why are you staring so intently at each other? I'm like, well, we're doing a staring contest. And my dad's, well, what are you talking about? He'd never heard of it. And my brother jumps in and he's like, you mean a stare off? I'm like, I've never heard of it called that.
I've never heard of it called a stare off either. It's arguably the cheapest and easiest way to pass time.
Yeah. Yes. It is.
Where no one gets hurt either. Because, like, did you play Hot Hands too?
Of course. Slaps.
Hot Hands was like, you can pass a lot of time there because it can get really competitive. But at the end of the day, someone's hand is brutalized.
Right. But your eyes are not going to be brutalized because unless there's some like skin in the game and you keep them open.
Do you want to have the first staring contest in the history of podcasts right now?
No, I don't.
Just have complete dead air.
I've got a new tactic though. Okay.
Let's see it. 3, 2, 1.
You just blinked. You blinked twice, I think.
My eyes are too dry. I can't do it, man.
Yep. So he doesn't know what a staring contest is. And kind of nobody can believe he doesn't know. I mean, you would think that like that's one of the few things he could do as a kid, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, we didn't do that. We played a game called Mumbly Peg. And he threw that out there like everybody knew, like it was Monopoly. I'm like, that's not something. Mumbly Peg. He's like, yeah, Mumbly Peg.
Pig or peg?
Peg. And I'm like, what is Mumbly Peg? And he's like, well, you know how you guys were doing the bottle flip earlier? Because my daughter and I will bottle, she loves doing bottle flips or whatever. And he's like, we did that, but with a knife. Me and my buddies would grab a knife out of the kitchen, go into the yard, and you try to flip it however many times they dare you to flip it and try to get it stick in the ground. We call it Mumbly Peg. So
I know this game. I've seen this.
And then my mom said she had never heard of it because they couldn't afford knives when they were young. I don't know if that's true.
Wait a minute. Who can't afford a knife?
Apparently, my grandfather couldn't afford a knife.
Really? I didn't.
That's what she said.
I thought that was like such a necessity that it didn't even. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course I know what you mean. I'm just shrugging over here. I don't know what to say.
The poorest people I've ever known always had a knife in their pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like 4 at home. It's like all their money went into pocket knives.
Yeah, actually, that's a fair point. He didn't say take a knife out of the kitchen. He said that you just take your pocket knife out. So, I mean, so he had a pocket knife.
Did you guys
So
ever do
maybe
this
she was
game?
too rich for a pocket knife. The aliens thing?
Yeah.
No. But I'm sure
We
he
used
did. I mean, that's basically mumbly peg, but with a hand.
we used to do it with pens. And I remember one of my brothers, I can't remember if it was Brent or Oak, they did it with a knife one time, and man,
It's a bad
nerves
move.
at 100.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially it's just there's nothing good that's going to come of it. I don't know. I guess
No, there's nothing.
your street cred can go up a little bit. Like Ryan didn't
Yeah.
cut off his thumb. Yeah.
Didn't cut off his
Anyway,
thumb.
so he'd never heard of a staring contest, and he played with knives. He flipped knives as a kid for entertainment. That's what he did. But yeah, they're always looping them in, and just when they don't need to be. I just, you get this window when you go back home, especially when your parents live like 3 doors down from your brother. All this shit that's going on all the time that you have
Mhm.
nothing, that you have no idea what's going. Like I told this story in one of the first episodes, but I'll put it like this: someone I know, um, their wife found a number of receipts in their wallet from a certain massage parlor, and every single one of them
In what
had
city?
I just a city, and
Okay. I mean, the
and
city that they lived in or another city?
no, it'd be great if it were Bangkok, but no, it's just the city
Okay.
that they lived in, and every one of them had a sizable tip, and
Mhm.
these weren't like years apart or anything, right? And so that person brought up to the person I know, and apparently there was a bit of happy ending thing going on with the tip.
Oh.
That was what the tip was for, and well, apparently the maybe not, 50-50 on this, but the happy ending is because they did not want to offend the masseuse by saying, no, get your hand off of my dick.
Oh. Right. She was like,
But
please, I need to do this. I really would like to do this.
yeah, I've been
And
wanting to
he's
do it
like,
ever since you
all
laid
right, if you
down.
want to, I'll let you.
I didn't say he, but that person didn't want to offend the masseuse because that person really wanted to sell that shop insurance. So that's how the
Hand job
story
insurance, wrist
goes.
insurance. What
My,
what type of you're gonna want to insure those wrists, man?
my guess would be renter's insurance. I didn't, but so when that story got floated to me about a year ago, I laughed and someone close to me told me that story, and I said, you know what? I just don't believe that. I use the word preposterous, which I try to use when it's appropriate, and it is preposterous. Like I don't think that any of that happened, and that story got brought up again. First thing, right after we got there,
Interesting that
got
your parents
got
would bring
brought
that
up
up.
to Amy, as it usually is,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing's changed. The sentiment is the same. The sentiment is insurance needed to be sold.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to offend anyone, and the masseuse is a predator. A predator.
Wouldn't you think the best way to sell insurance to a massage place would be to go and say, "Hi, I'm so and so. I work with such and such. We'd like to offer an insurance plan to you. Is it? Can I give you some information on what we have to offer? Do you think maybe that would be the better offer or the better approach than if I give you $60, will you give me a hand job?
Well, I mean, we neither one of us have all of the evidence here. We don't know the whole story. We don't know what kind of package we're talking about. Maybe it's just something that's so desirable that they're
Look,
like, I'm not only going to do
Nick,
this, I'm going to
Nick,
buy insurance from this man.
Nick. We at State Farm, we have a new package for $270 a month. We will cover your business for up to $200,000 in operating losses. 100,000 for force majeure, and some other stuff. and we will also let you give me a hand job when I come in here.
There will be a tip. There will be a tip,
There
but I'm
will
going to
be a
need
tip.
Receipts. That's always been the
So there's
iffiest
an
part of it.
itemized receipt.
That's always been the
Says
iffiest part of it.
he was really trying to write off as a business expense.
You know, I don't know about why you would keep the receipt. That's the only argument you have, right? I
It
don't know
really
why.
is.
It seems like if you're an alcoholic and you slip into a bar, you're like, I'm going to buy this beer with cash. You're certainly not. You're going to, if they say, do you want a receipt? Do you want to keep your tab? Whatever the case, you would say, no, thank you. In fact, you
Yeah.
probably say, do you have a mint? Do you have something? Whatever to cover my breath, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't put the receipt with the other receipts from the bar when you're supposed to be sober.
Yeah.
And then take them home.
Yeah.
But I just don't know why you would keep those receipts.
Let me show you how crazy this is. Okay. Hi, I'm going into a bar. You're managing a Chili's. Hi, I'm the
All right.
Anheuser Busch rep for this region. Just transferred here. I noticed you have Bud Light on tap. You have Budweiser, but you don't really carry many of our other Anheuser products. If I give you $100, would you jerk me off? We'll do that about 6 times, and then I'll get to telling you about our other Anheuser-Busch products.
But I'll need the paperwork, okay?
I'll need the paper.
I can't get over it.
Can you just write this down as a consulting fee?
There are just some places out there that I'm sure they offer receipts because they're a business, but you would never dream of taking the receipt. Certainly not putting it in your wallet, which the only time you would do that now in 2025, and really this is sparse. Like you probably wouldn't ever get a receipt for taxes at this point. Probably not.
No.
But maybe that's the only thing I can think of. Why would you keep multiple receipts of transgressions?
Well, I was at Sprouts a couple days ago. These aren't even transgressions, but I was just getting groceries.
How is Sprouts gonna come into play here?
Well, I was looking to get some squash, but it was $2.69. I wasn't looking to pay more than $2.49, so I offered the cashier a chance for him to rub my balls a little bit. No, it's just it's a nonsense negotiating tactic. It's like you give me. It doesn't make any sense. It's so inverted. Well, no, I got groceries, but it was for stuff I was about to cook then. And then the guy was like, "Do you need a receipt?" And I just stared for a couple seconds because I'm just thinking, why would I need a receipt here?
Why?
But obviously he has to offer it. But it reminded me of a time I went to an edible kicked in a little quicker than I thought it was going to. And I'm at Whole Foods and I was getting food to grill. Okay. To grill immediately. And I was asked if I wanted the receipt. I don't know how long I weighed the decision, but it felt like 4 minutes. I was like,
yeah.
The receipt. Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right. Now, on one hand, but then at the same you know what? I'll take. No, wait a minute. What if you? If you throw it away, what if I need a? I tell you what. I'll take the receipt.
I did that at a Subway once.
Really?
It was the same kind of thing where they were ringing me up, and they asked if I wanted the receipt, and I saw whoever works there, like pulling out a loaf of bread for whoever was next in line. And I just said, God, that looks good. about the bread itself, which it doesn't
look
of
good.
Bread. The bread by itself.
That's all I wanted. Pre-sliced sandwich bread.
Yeah.
It's not even like some artisanal loaf.
No. It's whatever that is. Rosemary, Parmesan, something.
God.
Yeah, I mean, the receipt thing is now such a if you do get it, it's like, do you want this text to you? That's what it is. So the fact that you have pretty much, you could almost make a blanket statement of any place that is like scrappy enough and sketchy enough to even have paper receipts, and that's the only kind of receipt they have. You do not want it. You do not want it. Donut
Right.
shops, you probably don't want it unless you're
You
buying
know
a
the Hedberg
dozen.
joke?
Of course, I know the
But
Hedberg
donut,
joke, but
yeah, the donut.
yeah,
File it
I'm
under,
just thinking of
file
something
it
that
under
maybe you
D
don't
for
want to be
donut.
caught buying, right? If you're going to buy one bear
Yeah.
claw, you know, you're not taking the receipt with it. There's just no reason to. So
Yeah.
that's always what's like just boggle my mind. And the fact that the story, the person in question is still being defended. Like, even though I argued again, I was like, there was no insurance selling here. That had nothing. I mean, maybe that was brought up at some point, but
Yes.
there's
So there's no
no
policy. There was no policy that
I feel like that
sold.
had nothing to do with it. But I mean, I would hate to be that person who gets themselves in that position, and then like you have to come up with something when the partner finds those receipts. And the best you can do is I was trying to sell them insurance. Okay, that's what I was trying to do.
Oh man, I mean, it's like, it sounds
That
like your
masseuse is
mom
a
saying the
predator.
masseuse is a predator. I mean, it is. It's like a QAnon level of delusion.
It's intentional, 100%.
There's child predators in the pizza basement. There's no basement. Exactly. They hide the basement. Like, what? What do you?
I've had so many like solicitors come here, knock on. I had a guy, I think I told you last summer, knock on my door, and within 30 seconds he was asking for $6,000 to repave my driveway.
What do you mean?
And it was he's just like, oh, I'll do your driveway I'm doing your neighbor's driveway. I'll repave yours for a discount. I'll do it for $6,000. I didn't know that he could also throw in, and you can put your thumb up my ass. I didn't know that was something that I didn't know that was in like a salesman bag of tricks or something.
He didn't go hard enough, man. Do you realize you could have got a thumb in this one? Oh
yeah,
my God.
I guess he thought he was Icarus, but he needed to fly even closer to the sun. Even closer.
Oh my God.
And he would have
That's
made
incredible,
it
man.
It is. I just can't wrap my mind around it. I can't.
It really, I mean, I don't know how obviously your mom wants to protect this person, but it's just the complete inverse of what a negotiation tactic would be.
100%. If anything,
they do me a favor.
The masseuse would be the one selling the insurance.
Yes.
If this is to be in the parking lot of the ballpark, a possibility, the masseuse would have to be like, well, right. I know you've already got.
You think they finish and then go,
you're already with Allstate.
So let me tell you about Delta Dental.
While her hand is firmly on the penis.
For $13.99 a month. What do you get? Free cleanings.
Am I hot or cold? What do you think? You're going to have to pay 6 months of premiums before they can cover anything, but it is dental insurance. That's how it goes. Oh, you're not interested? Okay, I'm going to take my hand off.
Oh my God.
That's the only way it would be in the realm of possibility. But even
I can't believe
then,
people have bought this argument.
I don't think anyone has bought the argument.
Your mother has.
Well, I mean, I didn't say mother until you just said it, but look, I think that I'm the only person that rebuffed it. I think I'm the only person. I think that it's such an insane argument that everybody else, anyone else who would have heard it would have just smiled and nodded.
What does Amy say?
Haitians
does Amy just go, well, you got to have insurance? Like, what does she say?
Well, I mean, she was there when I made the counter argument last week, which isn't a hard argument to make. It's not.
It's not.
It's just not. So you think two things, you know how people throw around that like two different things can be true and exist in the same time. But these two can't. You can't believe that the person receiving the hand job is doing it so that afterwards, as a reward, they'll sell the insurance. That is what you have to believe. Am I right?
There's just really... I mean, there's no real comparison other than the ones that we've already done of like just absurd. It's absurdly inverted negotiation.
And the fact that it's also a hand job, like, I mean, any hand job. I mean, like, what adult would want that? It's kind of like when you. Like, are trying to watch porn quietly and an ad comes on at like 100,000 decibels. Like, are you tired of whacking off alone? And you're like, I'm on a fucking airplane, man. Can you not? Do you want a hand job from any ugly single old women in your area? It's always at an angle of like being tired of something.
From any uninsured woman in the area.
Exactly.
You tired of? Are you tired of getting hand jobs from uninsured people?
What's going on with all these unemployed, underinsured massage therapists preying on insurance salesmen? What's up with that? That's my platform.
Todd Glass posted this clip a few weeks ago. He's walking down the street and he's talking to, is it Mike? Oh man, what is Mike's last name? It might not even be him in the video. It's either Mike with the mustache, whose name I can't pronounce.
Oh, right.
No, it starts with a K, or it might have been someone else. But the bit is like, he thinks that Todd thinks that massage places like they're hard of business, and they call a meeting and they're like, look, business is not great, we're gonna have to start jerking them off too. And the other guy is like, no, I think it's like the business plan from the beginning. I don't think the business is struggling. Then they're like, look, who's in? We're gonna start jerking them off.
I mean, it is a little bit stretched, but it's not that crazy considering what they're already doing. Your hands are already on their body. It's not like
it's still quite a stretch though, from like a professional, someone who's a professional.
After the massage, we gotta throw them a chicken and waffle. I mean,
it's not like, so in Montreal, man, one of the best clubs there. I was actually just there, and basically across the street from the hotel, there are two places called Nuru Massage, where it's like, from what I understand, it's just naked people sliding all over each other with oil on them, and it is
kind of like the donkey show that you didn't even know existed.
I guess so. Just the idea of this is, first of all, it's prime real estate, so people are going in there unless it's strictly a money laundering operation. I've never seen anyone go in or out, right? And it just seems like, how is everyone not getting ringworm?
Well, man, that's interesting. Like, if it's a money laundering operation, then you wouldn't feel as bad about being one of the performers there, dancers, whatever you want to call them, the strippers, because then you're not getting any clients. You're just
getting cash. You're just getting an hourly.
Like, there's no one coming in. It could not even be dancers. If you're just seeing through the window, it could be like Kevin McAllister's Michael Jordan like cutout. It could be a couple of cutouts
I
just
I
inside the window.
assume it's like a money laundering and like a mob shakedown where they're getting video of guys, and then if they find out that you're the CEO of some corporation, then you get then the shakedown begins.
I've
That's
got
what I
no doubt
assume.
that's going to happen to my son one day.
It's
I'm already saving money. Like other people have, like I set up a college account. I have like when
he has
my
a
son
shakedown
makes
account.
a real fucking error. Yeah, in 20 years. Yeah, I've already got
Yeah,
that account
yeah.
going. Hey, can I ask you a hypothetical?
Hey Nick, I'd love for you to ask me a hypothetical. Can I tell you something first though? I was going to
Yeah,
start
yeah.
off talking about Costco at the beginning.
Ugh. Yeah.
So glad I didn't. Go ahead.
What? Because then you would have
Nothing
lost out
negative
on
about
all
it.
this.
Just
There's nothing
exactly.
negative to say about it. It's just freaking spectacular.
You
I
know
wish
what?
I could afford the stock.
I think next week we got to talk about our that we do like a little power rankings of the of things the best and best to worst things. We each come with our own list.
Like box stores? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Like
Costco. No, actual Costco
Okay.
things.
Well, the other one is Trader Joe's. Just places that go out on a limb. We're gonna make our own and just continue to crush it.
Yeah.
I off of this is how old I am. My nephew just told me, "Hey man, next time you go to Costco, you gotta get those breakfast sausages. You got to." And I'm like, writing that down, and I did. And I bet you I won't be sorry
It's
about
great.
it.
Oh well, I was gonna say that the one real negative I'll say is that $1.50 hot dog really tastes like a $1.50 hot dog.
I disagree. I think it's a totally decent hot dog.
Man,
I think
I've
it's a
had it
decent.
twice and just like indigestion for a day.
Oh, I'm not saying that it's going to go through the system too easy, but I mean, it gets into your mouth well enough. They've got a frozen custard there that's really good too. Anyway,
The custard looks
I
great.
just
I've
got
never done it, but
I got some Thai bowls there, and I'm going to have that tonight. Here's
all
my
right, let's do this
hypothetical.
hypothetical.
Yeah. Would you,
Hypothetical. You're at Costco, and
would you, if you could, would you wish to travel to the future and be present at your own funeral? No one knows that you're there, but you can see who all attends your funeral and then come right back to your life.
yes,
Kind of like how Scrooge does.
I would love that.
You would?
That sounds great. I can't think of any downsides. I mean, if someone's not there,
really
then I just
sadden you. Like if you're oh man, not even everybody from work showed up, something like that.
Well, I assume I outlived them.
Okay, all right, but
some of them.
if you could remove that obvious loophole, like that's pretty okay. Of course,
I don't know if that's
my parents aren't there
some
because
people
I lived them or
hopefully
something.
Would be 120 years old by then, and maybe they're not going to make it because of that.
All right, forget it. All right,
it would be fucked though.
Fine, I'll rewrite it a little bit.
It would be fucked if I'm there and it's like it's in 2027, and I'm like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? I show up there, I'm like, why is Nick 48 at my funeral?
All right, well, how about this? Well, so you can't say that. We'll say it's a if you were to die in 2 years, this is who's going to be there. You go.
Why is it going to be in 2 years? Why are we doing this?
If you were to die in 2 years, this is who's going to be there. Would you want to even show up? Are you just like, no? And the Grim Reaper's like, no, I'm not saying that it's going to be in 2 years.
Maybe not.
And then the Grim Reaper even says, I don't even know when it's going to be.
Maybe not, because I don't want some future hypothetical to affect the way I live and the way I go about day to day.
I don't think I'd want to go either. I don't think I'd want to go.
If it was 50 years from now, sure, let's see. But if it's like right now, then I'm like, oh man, because you won't know. Like maybe someone couldn't get a babysitter. Maybe someone,
that's not a reason to not go to. Look, if it's 50 years from now,
some people are on a different coast and you can't do it.
If it's 50 years from now and like no one, the only people at the funeral are people I already know, I think that would maybe be the single most depressing thing I could see. Is that it's like, what? I didn't meet anyone new. I didn't make any new friends.
That's
at
living the dream, man.
50 years old. Oh, you think it's
That's
too
living
much
the
legwork,
dream.
huh? Yeah.
Yeah, you aren't. I'm all set on close friends.
All right. What if it's what if you go to your future funeral and it's like literally people are out like the fucking Pope? Like you're just like, what did I do in my
Yeah, that's what I'd
life?
be thinking. What did I do?
Like there are
Yeah,
100,000 people here. They can't. They
yeah,
had to close down a whole city
yeah,
just for my funeral. And you're like, I
yeah.
know it's not comedy that's doing this.
It's not comedy. I don't know. Is it? Is it?
And then you find out it's the podcast. You
It's
find
the
out
podcast.
it's
I'm
this
glad you said that because the other thing I was going to say could get us arrested. So I
you
didn't
find
say
out
that.
it's one of your two podcasts, and you come back to this moment, but you don't know which
I don't know which one.
podcast it is. So you're like, man, I got to start. Nick, we got to go gung ho, but I'm not sure if it's going to be this one or the one I do with the astronaut and the CPA. I don't know which one it's going
And
to
I
be.
don't find out until a couple days before I die that what's happened is I'm actually paying audience to show up at my funeral. I got an audience warm-up guy there. I got an audience warm. Hey, who wants to share their favorite memory for a Best Buy gift certificate?
I got one more. What
hear it.
rule would you impose if you were king of the world for a day? And you can set one rule that will exist for
For the
10
rest of
years.
the time?
10 years.
Oh, no single-ply toilet paper. Anywhere.
That's it?
It's banned. It's banned. Single-ply toilet paper is banned.
Wow. All right. That's it. Nothing more. I thought you were going to go NBA refs.
I thought you said I could do one thing.
One. So the single ply toilet paper is more important to you than the NBA being officiated fairly?
But, okay, I mean, if you can do that, look,
You're the king.
that's so subjective, though. That's so subjective. I didn't know I could do stuff like that.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that. And like, even though you're not on the throne anymore, it's as if like that is in stone. Your guards or whatever, your military force will come after refs if they're not fair.
Could I say? Could it be like? Because what would be bigger to me is taking the corruption out of FIFA. Could I do that?
Yeah, sure you can.
That's not
you're
too
the king.
broad of a thing.
No, you're the king.
Yeah, I would take the corruption out of FIFA then. But honestly, banning single ply toilet paper is not far behind that. I think it needs to be banned. I'm telling you, if I check into a hotel and it's single ply, I'm down on the whole hotel. You know?
No, that's. I mean, of course, it's a red flag.
Yeah.
And right when you check in, too, as soon as you walk in, that's not something you can ask. You know, it's not something you're going to see on Yelp.
Yeah.
Not like when a church is reviewed.
What would yours be?
Honestly, I didn't even think of an answer. I really didn't.
You're like, what would my answer be for what? The thing you just asked me. I wasn't paying attention to what you said.
I would say this. It would just be for fun. I would say like, and I would say, you know what? This is an unusual edict, and so I'm only going to make it so for a year. So for the next year, whenever you greet someone, you have to ask them a hypothetical question. They have to ask you a hypothetical question for the next year. I think that'd
People
be a lot
get to
of
know
fun.
each other a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do that,
people get a kick out of it.
I think I'd also like if we got up to about 20 rules, I would ban the cheek kiss. Like seeing someone, that thing, you know what I'm talking about? Because I don't understand how
you don't like
works.
it?
I don't fully understand it. I had an awkward one with someone one time where it looked
You mean
like
at a game when they're like, "You guys kiss, make out"?
No,
like
the greeting. You know, it's in
Cheek.
many countries.
Oh, the cheek kiss.
What'd you think I said?
I thought you were talking about the Kiss-O-Rama camera on
The
during
kiss
a
cam
game.
at games?
Yeah,
No,
that's
who
what I
gives a
thought.
shit? I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's what I
about
was
the
wondering.
greeting. Because one time
Yeah.
I did like, this is someone's face. I didn't know which side you're supposed to go to. And I was just like mirroring back and forth. this lady who's probably 30 years my elder, and it was a weird standoff. And then I went, put her there, put the hand out. Uh, it's not my
I would
strength.
also say garage sales are mandatory every couple of years. Like, I don't want any more hoarders. You got to get them. You got to get all your stuff out on your lawn. I want a garage sale on every block at all times. I want at least
How
one.
often do you stop by them? I'm like once every
Dude,
3 years.
I mean, around here they have like a weekend where hundreds of houses do it. Love it, man. So I got all my
I mean,
furniture.
it sounds good. It sounds good. I just like anytime I see them, it's like on a weekend, and I'm like, I'm on my way to something.
No,
But
you know what? No. This is what I would do. I would just say all politicians, basically the liar thing. They
uh-huh.
have to tell the complete truth with why they want something and
Yeah,
exactly what while they're campaigning. If they get the job, they get the job. They can do whatever they like. They can say what they want, but they have to tell the complete truth.
sure. I mean, that's a better rule than my FIFA corruption thing. I should have said the House Speaker has to bring every bill to the floor, whether it's something they want or not. That's probably more important for the state of democracy than who gets awarded the 2034 World Cup. But
I don't know that it would make more of an impact on people's happiness than FIFA. I don't know about that. FIFA
in the
makes
U.S.
a
at least,
gigantic
I mean, it would
impact.
Global stability. But anyway, you ready to play Rank Them?
Yeah, I'm ready to play Rank
Or is
Them.
it too early?
Nah, man, let's play. I think we gotta. This is a short, tight episode today.
Rank Them is a game where I give you 3 permanent conditions. This is for a person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. This person is perfect for you in every way except for these 3 defining characteristics. You must rank them. Okay, this week's Rank Them was sent to us by Jingle Master Tony, who made our theme song. And here we are. Number 1 is highly competitive. Barely beats you at anything you play. Just barely beats you, right?
Oh,
Sports, board games, video games, but loses soundly to everyone else.
That's so good. That's
super
so good.
Competitive, beats you at everything by a little bit, loses to everyone else. Okay. Number 2.
They lose badly to everyone, beat you by a hair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Number 2, spoils every movie or book you are consuming right before you get to that part.
No.
Just casual, like,
no.
oh, this is when such and such happens.
No.
Okay. And if you're not with them, you'll receive a text as if they were thinking about it. And you cannot escape it.
So it's a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, I guess so. Sure.
Okay.
Number 3, goes to all of your shows, and after each joke shouts, "That's my funny guy up there."
Dude, this is the hardest one I've ever had. Every one of them I was shaking my head. That's horrible. I mean, there's no clear answer for this.
Perfect for you in every other way. In every way, except for these defining characteristics.
Which is impossible. Of course, they're not going to be perfect. And I got caught up in a lot of that when I was asking my family that other one. So every show they're at every show. And every laugh, that's my funny guy. And it's out loud.
Oh, wait a minute. I got the emphasis on the wrong words. It's not that's my funny guy. It's that's my funny guy up there.
Okay. That's dead last.
All caps on my.
That can't. Yeah. That's dead last. And I mean, I guess you could make it into a bit, but I mean, she'd be kicked out.
You'd hope, right?
She'd be kicked out of the room. God, I guess
before every show, I would go up to the manager and say, if someone yells out, "That's my funny guy up there," please bounce this person.
Yeah. That's still got to be last. Because maybe they saw it and they're like, oh, we let her stay in there because you guys are cool, whatever. That's 3. That's the least tolerable one. And then I just go in reverse order for the other 2. The thing about the movies, I guess, will be the most tolerable. That sounds brutal.
Yeah.
Like Kaiser
That's
Soze,
number
just
2.
whatever. Number 2 is the competition, I guess, even though that's horrible.
And you would take the person spoiling everything over losing to them?
Yeah, I guess so.
That is lame, dude. Uh that is
Why?
lame.
Why?
Well, okay. Okay, the person yelling out, that has to be third, right? That's just, you're ruining my life at that point,
Yeah.
you know? Um I take, to me, the person who beats me at everything is number 2. Because I just think, who cares? I'm an insanely competitive person, right? It doesn't matter if it's a card game. It
I
doesn't
know.
matter
I've
what
heard
it
you.
is.
I've seen you call moving picks and like one-on-one basketball. Yeah. Mhm. I guess
I would.
the competition, the competitive thing, that's probably the most tolerable. It probably is.
It's the most tolerable. Can I give an example of how competitive I am?
Yes, please, please.
So sometimes, like before going to bed, Rachel and I will do like New York Times crossword,
Yeah.
and this was not in my head, like, I need to, okay, she beat me a couple weeks ago one time, and I don't know what, this was not intentional. I wasn't like, we need to beat her by 50. But since then, I've really focused on efficiency, and I'm like completing the whole puzzles in like 7 to 9 minutes, and just
Wow.
absolutely like burying her.
I thought
That's
you were
how
going to say it
competitive I
started an
am.
argument and you like walked out because she beat
No,
you
no,
in
no,
one
no, no.
crossword. Okay. All right.
No, no, no. I don't care about, that's what I'm saying. It's ingrained. It's not intentional. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to do it. It's just, that's just how competitive I am, because I was the youngest, I was
I
the
didn't even know
youngest.
you were the youngest.
I was the
Uh,
youngest until I was 23 or something, or 24. Yeah. So I was always the smallest and everything. So it's just, even if I'm not trying to be competitive, I'm very competitive.
Wait,
But
were you 23, 24 when your parents adopted
yeah, I
a
adopted
bunch of?
my 4 youngest brothers. Yeah.
So you went from youngest to
To middle.
the 5th youngest
Yeah.
like that? How bizarre.
Like that.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Like you were
Yeah.
the youngest for 2 decades and now you've got 4 younger brothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Youngest in our house. My brother, my half brother, my dad and stepmom is younger than me, but we grew up in different houses.
Yeah, I get it. You don't have to give me
You know what I mean?
clauses.
Yeah,
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 no, I
yeah.
think the
So,
competitive thing, as long as you're free to compete with other people and like this doesn't affect that. So like
mhm.
if
Yeah,
she beats me by a hair, she gets trounced by the neighbor. But then I can play the neighbor and beat them.
beat them, and
Then
then
fine, fine,
it's
fine.
up in the air, and then you're like, I beat the person who beat the person, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. But like I said, it wouldn't bother me, because like even though like my subconscious is like, okay, we need to do better on these crosswords. In the moment, I'm like, oh, that's great.
Mm,
Just because
yeah,
I've done them for like 15 years. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
so I like it when I lose to her.
When you get a little competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't, that wouldn't bother me. That's one of those that's like, it's a hilarious question on
Yeah.
paper, but in real life,
But
I
you
think I
had
could
this
deal
number
with it.
but you had this number 2. Or
I'm
no, you
moving
had
it up
this.
to the most
Oh,
tolerable.
okay. You're moving up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because the ruining movies and books, Jesus, that would kill me. I mean, ruining a book would be even worse, because the amount of time that goes into a book.
Are you
You
on
know?
page 278 yet? Oh, if it's that, yeah, I couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
my son's school bus just rode up. Do we get to
That's
promote?
exciting.
Our,
Yeah,
I'm excited about
yeah,
this.
folks. Got a bunch of shows booked now. I've been saying it was going to happen. It's happening. So let's see. Where are the dates? Well, god damn it, I don't have it open. Okay, let me open it real quick. Sorry.
Well, I have a casino in a few weeks with my friend Jim Flanagan. I forget the name, but it's in Wisconsin, and I'll get back about that. May
Sounds
9th.
good. Go to ryanconnorcomedy.com. You can check out my book, The Party. You can see links to my special Live from DC, which is on Amazon Prime and on Tubi. There's also a special audio album if you just want to listen to it. Also, you can check out the dates on my calendar. A few links to tickets are going to be coming in the next week or so, but I'll be in May. I'll be in Ottawa, Toronto, and Hamilton. In June, Phoenix in September, Edmonton, and Philadelphia in October, Vancouver and Minneapolis. And in November, it seems Nick Cobb and I will be in both Chicago and somewhere else in Illinois, but more details coming there, hopefully in the
Nice.
next few days.
Nice, nice,
And
nice.
yeah, tickets for Phoenix, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Minneapolis coming soon.
Nice. Good months to be there, too. Good months to
Yeah,
be
good
there.
point.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Thanks, man. Nah, it's fun. It was good. I'm glad we got to litigate that story again. It's important to me.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go see if I can sell some insurance real quick.
be, sure, be sure to demand a blowjob, because then
Yeah.
they're gonna buy.
You got to push them all in on the
Yeah,
negotiation.
they can't say yes on the blowjob and no on the auto plan. No, they can't do that.
All right, bye.
Later, buddy.
Just a couple of guys palling around, coming out of your speakers, a beautiful sound. They debate, berate, and have a laugh or two. Connor v. Cobb, for me and for you. La 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 la, la 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 la. Connor v. Cobb, for me and you.
Ryan and Nick. Nick and Ryan. The Scoundrels of the Hour.